Okay, so hi, my name is Ara. I've never done a YouTube video before, but we're gonna start. So, basically, a little bit about myself is Mara, 17. I live in Minnesota. And basically, what kind of I want to go into detail about is just basically my story in this video. So basically, I was recently diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and what that is basically it is where you. Hang on, let me grab a template real quick. Hang on. So basically, it's where we can overreact over small things, but it's for a very good reason. Um, Basically, I have been through a lot of trauma. My mom has died. My stepdad has died in a car accident. I can't really talk to my sisters, and it does hurt a little bit to talk about this on camera. But I feel like this is how, I feel like you guys can be a family to me. Um, I basically have been in and out of the foster care system, so I know what it's like. I want to do this video just if you have any questions, let me know. You can totally let me know in the link below. Um, but yeah, like, obviously we all are struggling with something, and maybe someone mentally, I will be on here every day doing a video and just kind of checking in with you guys, letting you guys know how I'm doing. So this is the first video, so just let me know. Thanks. And I just want to know, like, kind of how you guys feel with mental health and stuff. Maybe you're struggling with it. Maybe you're not. Maybe you are. Like, what would help you guys? What are some things I will research about them and talk about them. Today we're going to talk about borderline personality disorder and what that is. So give me 1 second to get my little printout. So I'm reading from this little booklet that says about borderline personality disorder. So it says emotions and behaviors. This person may have a pattern of intense mood swings and problems and controlling anger and other emotions. He or she may act impulsively and may physically harm him or herself. Self-image. This person may feel confused about and make sudden changes in his or her goals, direction in life and relationships, for example. Relationships. People with BPD often have trouble maintaining relationships because of their unpredictable emotions and behavior. Why should you learn about BTD? I don't know. BPD? I don't know. It says because it's an illness that affects millions of people and their family members and friends. People with BPD may have poor relationships with others, financial or legal troubles, or problems in school or work. Engage in harmful or risky behaviors such as cutting themselves, driving recklessly, or abusing alcohol. It is estimated that up to 10% of people with BPD commit suicide. BPD is treatable like any other mental illness. With proper diagnosis and treatment, many people with BPD can learn to cope with symptoms and live more satisfying lives. What are the symptoms of BPD? Symptoms vary depending on the person. In general, a person with BPD may have several of the following symptoms. So just because I'm not a doctor, first of all, so I'm just reading this. So if you do, let me know. So people with BPD have an unstable self-image, which I really do, and you see yourself constantly changing. I completely do. And you often change your values, goals, jobs, and friends. You have a history of stable relationships. So I differ between being very dependable on someone and then rejecting them altogether. There's no in between. There can be sometimes in between where I'll stay really good with you and depend on you, but there's no in between for me, really. You use a lot of impulse, and what an impulse is you do it the first thought that comes into your head. You don't think about it. You don't think about the choices. So basically, like abuse alcohol or other drugs, we just think of it and we do it. Like, oh, I'm going to vape this right now. Like, I got peer pressure to vape, and I just did it because in my brain it sounds that's what I want to do. That's who I want to be. You may have sex with unfamiliar partners. Do I have sex with unfamiliar partners? No, I've been raped like 9 times. So, no. You go on eating binges. Basically, what that means is you could just stop eating, or you could just eat all day, every day. You spend money carelessly. Like, you just go, whatever, I'm going to spend this, and this on all of this. A lot of people do have suicidal or self-injurious behavior. And you may cut, burn, or scratch themselves, or attempts to say. Basically, what I'm saying is sometimes I do not even self-harm just to want to die. Sometimes for us, we don't know how to release our pain with BPD, and we just act out. From there, it's the end of the world. We're going to do it to help this pain come out. You have very suddenly mood swings. Like, I will go very much from a day from anxiety, happy, sad, angry, all of the above, and I do that about a lot of times a day. You have emptiness or boredom. Like, you're really bored sometimes, or you feel really empty or lonely, or just, yeah. You do have problems handling your anger. You can work on it, though, and get there, but a lot of people with BPD say, okay, for somebody who loses their keys, for me, I started crying over that. For somebody who loses their keys, they may not cry over that. They may just get frustrated. But for me, it was the end of the world. You feel like someone's going to abandon you all the time, like someone's going to leave. So then you do this thing of pushing them away. You do this thing of not keeping them. You really have a distorted sense of reality. Like, sometimes you don't know it's real, and sometimes you do. So you really just are trying to play this game with it. Like, oh, what do I know? So for us with BPD, we may seem like, oh yeah, we're fine, I'm doing great, I'm on a great path. And then something just kind of happens, and then you see it. But sometimes I'm just hiding the impulsiveness, or the anger, or the sadness, because I don't really have that comfortable person to talk to, really. You may not even recognize you have BPD. You may not until somebody says, oh, look, you have this diagnosis, like a psychiatrist. When you have BPD, it is very important for your family and friends to encourage you. Like, this is just for parents too. If your kids cooked a meal and they say, how did I do? You say you did good, or it could be they're better this way. Encouraging them makes them kind of feel like, oh yeah, they did something good, and you're still noticing them. Because we don't feel noticed. How you get an accurate diagnosis. So I'm not telling you these things and you just are going to diagnose yourself today. No. You need to either take a patient history. So you talk to a doctor about your symptoms, what you've been through, what you're going through. And to finish, you might have psychological testing, or they might talk to your family if it does come to that. You rule out other causes. Like, for example, behavioral symptoms. Like, you could either have, like, some of it could be depression, or some of it could be anxiety, some of it could be bipolar, or other personality disorders, like antisocial or personality disorder. Diagnose coexisting problems. Like, what else is going on for you? Some people have a drinking alcohol problem with BPD. Some people have an eating disorder. Some people have depression. I have depression, and it's just led me to that. There is treatment for it if you need it. You need to either do like psychotherapy to understand the illness, develop skills. Like, there's also DBT. So that's kind of what you gotta do. You gotta do these therapies and stuff to help you. Medications, they may not be able to help, but they may like help you a little bit. Treatment of coexisting disorders. Get that treatment for the other disorders. Like if you have drug and alcohol, go get treatment for drug and alcohol. If you have an eating disorder, get that treated for that. Depression, get treated for that. Those things get treated. Hospitalization, if you really are at risk. If you're going to actually really commit suicide, go to a hospital. Call 911. You really need to get help if you're feeling like that. Family therapy. It can help you to understand it, and it can help your family to understand it, because your family needs to also understand what you're going through and what you've been through. You need to just do what you need to do with it. How parents and friends could basically help you if you have this is they can offer your support. They could stay calm with you. And they can encourage you to stay in your treatment, even if you're like, one day I'm like, I want to go to therapy. My dad can be like, go to therapy. You need to go to therapy. They can set limits. Basically just telling you, physical, mental, or verbal abuse is unacceptable. Him or herself, for example, when it comes to self-destructive behavior, you can keep a positive attitude with your person. You can take time for yourself as a parent. Basically what causes BPD is chemical imbalances in the brain, genetic factors, childhood trauma such as sexual abuse, physical abuse, or neglect. When does BPD develop? Symptoms of BPD often develop during young adulthood, and I'm 17, so obviously I'm in young adulthood, whatever, or less often in the teenage years. So maybe. Don't people with BPD just want attention? This is an automatic question that a lot of people would ask, and it's no. BPD is a serious mental illness requiring professional treatment and support. Never ignore threats of suicide or self-injurious behavior. Get professional help. If you're wondering how BPD differs from bipolar disorder, BPD is a personality disorder, while bipolar disorder is a brain disorder. They have some similar symptoms, for example, intense mood swings, and the two conditions can coexist. How long does treatment last? So it just varies from person in person, and it might take you till your 30s or 40s to become very stable. Where you can go for help is your community mental health advocacy, your healthcare provider, mental health professionals, a hospital or a health clinic, the National Alliance on Mental Health America. Know the symptoms, get the help, and learn how. So yeah, this is my video on BPD. Just let me know in the comments what you guys want me to do tomorrow. Okay, thanks. Bye.